Imagine standing in front of hundreds of people, bright lights shining directly on your face, the microphone already on, but your mouth is dry, your heart is racing, and not a single word comes out. In that moment, you feel small, invisible, and wish you could disappear instantly. But now, picture the opposite. You step forward with a confident smile, your voice strong and steady, your eyes locked with the audience. And suddenly, the entire room is drawn into every word you speak. What makes the difference? It's not some innate talent, but the secret to speaking with confidence. And today, I'm going to share with you a story that will forever change the way you see communication and owning the stage. When it comes to speaking with confidence, preparation is the foundation. Think of any great speaker you admire. Behind the smooth delivery and inspiring message lies hours, sometimes days, of preparation. Many people mistakenly believe that confidence is simply about being bold or extroverted, but in reality, true confidence is rooted in being well prepared. When you know your material inside and out, you create a safety net for yourself, one that allows you to handle unexpected interruptions, questions, or even your own nerves with ease. Preparation transforms anxiety into assurance because you know you're standing on solid ground. The first step in preparation is researching your topic thoroughly. Imagine being asked to speak about a subject you only vaguely understand. Your mind would constantly be scrambling to fill in the gaps. That uncertainty would show in your delivery, undermining the confidence you want to project. On the other hand, if you've spent time reading, gathering data, studying examples, and reflecting on your subject, you naturally feel more at ease. Knowledge gives you authority, and authority translates into confidence. If your talk is about leadership, for example, prepare by not only reading articles and books, but also gathering stories of leaders who overcame challenges. These stories can serve as powerful illustrations that make your message stick. Once you've gathered your information, the next crucial step is organizing it. Confidence is not just about what you know, but also how clearly you can present it. Without structure, even the most knowledgeable person can appear unsure. Creating an outline with key points helps keep your thoughts aligned. This outline serves as your roadmap. It tells you where to start, what direction to take, and how to conclude. Just as a traveler feels reassured by following a clear map, you will feel grounded knowing you have a logical flow to guide you through your talk. Practice is another element that cannot be overlooked. People often underestimate the power of rehearsal, assuming they can wing it. The reality is, even the most charismatic speakers often rehearse multiple times. Practicing allows you to identify weak points, refine transitions, and reduce filler words like or Repetition builds familiarity, and familiarity reduces fear. For instance, athletes train rigorously before a big game, not because they don't know the sport, but because they need their skills to become second nature. The same applies to speaking. The more you practice, the more automatic your delivery feels. Preparation also involves anticipating potential challenges. What if your audience asks a difficult question? What if the technology fails and your slides don't appear? By thinking through possible scenarios ahead of time, you prepare yourself mentally to handle them with grace. For example, you might keep note cards with your key points in case the projector fails. You might also prepare short, thoughtful answers to likely questions so you're not caught off guard. When you've rehearsed for the unexpected, even surprises won't shake your confidence. Another overlooked aspect of preparation is practicing aloud. Reading your notes silently is not enough. The human brain processes spoken words differently from written ones. By practicing out loud, you can hear how your sentences flow, notice awkward phrasing, and adjust your tone. You may also discover areas where you naturally stumble, which tells you where to slow down or reword. If possible, rehearse in the actual location where you'll be speaking, familiarizing yourself with the space. Whether it's a stage, a meeting room, or even a small office, reduces anxiety because it removes the unknown. Mental preparation is equally important. Before stepping up to speak, remind yourself of your purpose. Why are you giving this talk? What value will your audience gain? Shifting your focus from your own nervousness to the benefit you bring to others can calm your mind. Instead of worrying about being judged, you anchor yourself in the idea that you are there to share something valuable. This shift in perspective can dramatically boost your confidence. Visualization is another technique that enhances preparation. Close your eyes and imagine yourself delivering your talk successfully. Picture the audience nodding, smiling, and engaging with your words. Envision yourself speaking clearly, moving confidently, and finishing strong. Visualization primes your brain to expect success, which increases the likelihood of achieving it. Many professional athletes and performers use this exact method before competitions or shows. When you rehearse success in your mind, your body and emotions follow suit. One practical tool for preparation is recording yourself. With modern smartphones, it's easy to video record a rehearsal. Watching yourself may feel uncomfortable at first, but it provides invaluable insights. You'll notice habits you didn't realize you had, like looking down too often or fidgeting with your hands. You'll also see moments when your voice lacks energy or your pacing drags. By observing and adjusting, you sharpen your performance before ever stepping in front of an audience. Preparation also extends to knowing your audience. Confidence is amplified when you understand who you're speaking to. Are they professionals in your field, students eager to learn, or a general audience with little background knowledge? Tailoring your language, examples, and tone to suit their level of understanding makes you more effective. When you feel that your audience is connecting with your message, your confidence grows naturally. Think of it as having a conversation rather than a performance. Lastly, preparation includes the small details that often go unnoticed but make a big difference. What will you wear? Is it comfortable, appropriate, and aligned with the setting? Do you have water nearby in case your throat gets dry? Have you tested the microphone if one is available? These logistical elements may seem minor, but overlooking them can create unnecessary stress. On the other hand, taking care of them in advance frees your mind to focus entirely on delivering your message. In the end, preparation is not about eliminating every possibility of error. It's about building enough confidence in yourself that you can handle whatever arises. By researching thoroughly, organizing your ideas, practicing repeatedly, preparing for challenges, and focusing on your purpose, you equip yourself with everything you need to step forward with assurance. Confidence isn't about being fearless, it's about knowing you're ready. The more you prepare, the less you have to rely on luck, and the more you can rely on yourself. With preparation as your foundation, speaking with confidence becomes not just possible but natural. Confidence in speaking is not only built through preparation, but also expressed through the way your body communicates. Long before you say your first word, your body is already sending signals to your audience. Posture, gestures, eye contact, and even the way you move across a stage or room create impressions that can either strengthen your message or undermine it. Controlling your body language is a critical skill because it gives your audience a sense of assurance that you believe in what you're saying. When your words and your body are in harmony, your message resonates more powerfully. The first and most basic element of body language is posture. Standing tall with your shoulders open and your feet firmly planted communicates confidence immediately. It signals that you are grounded and comfortable in your space. Slouching, on the other hand, gives the impression of insecurity or disinterest. Think about the last time you saw someone walk into a room hunched over with eyes downcast. Instinctively, people read that as a lack of confidence. Contrast that with someone who walks in with an upright stance, meeting others' eyes with a calm smile. The difference in perception is enormous, even if the person hasn't spoken a single word yet. Eye contact is another essential tool. Human beings rely heavily on eyes to gauge trustworthiness and sincerity. When you maintain appropriate eye contact, you establish a connection with your listeners, making them feel that you are speaking directly to them rather than delivering a rehearsed speech. This doesn't mean staring at one person until they feel uncomfortable. Instead, it involves scanning the room naturally, pausing to meet different pairs of eyes, and allowing your gaze to rest long enough that people feel acknowledged. Even in one-on-one conversations, steady but gentle eye contact communicates confidence and respect. Gestures, when used intentionally, can greatly enhance your message. Open-handed gestures often communicate honesty and openness. Using your hands to emphasize key points makes your message more dynamic and helps people remember your words. For example, when explaining growth or progress, moving your hand upward reinforces the concept visually. However, gestures should never feel forced or repetitive. Overusing hand movements can be distracting, while crossing arms or keeping hands hidden in pockets may send signals of defensiveness or lack of engagement. The key is naturalness. Gestures should align with your words rather than compete with them. Movement across a stage or in a room also plays a role. Confident speakers don't remain frozen in one spot, but they also don't pace nervously back and forth. Purposeful movement can help structure your talk, such as moving to a new spot when transitioning to a new point. Walking toward the audience slightly can also create a sense of intimacy, as though you're drawing them closer into the conversation. On the other hand, fidgeting, shifting weight from one leg to another, or wandering aimlessly can distract from your message and reveal nerves. Facial expressions are a subtle but powerful form of body language. A warm, genuine smile at the beginning of your talk can immediately relax both you and your audience. Expressions that match your words, such as showing concern when discussing a problem or enthusiasm when describing a solution, make you appear authentic and relatable. People are highly attuned to facial cues, and they often trust expressions even more than spoken words. That's why practicing in front of a mirror or recording yourself can help you ensure that your face communicates the same confidence and sincerity as your voice. Another aspect of body language is what psychologists call power poses. Research has suggested that standing in expansive, open postures for even a few minutes before speaking can boost your sense of confidence internally. For example, standing with your feet apart, hands on your hips, and head held high communicates authority to others, but it also signals to your own brain that you are ready and capable. Even if you don't use such expansive gestures while speaking, practicing them beforehand can help you project confidence once you're on stage. Body language also includes the small, often unconscious habits that reveal nervousness. Playing with your hair, tapping your foot, biting your lip, or fiddling with objects are all signals that can undermine the impression of confidence. Audiences may not consciously analyze these movements, but they do pick up on them, and it can distract from your message. The best way to address such habits is to become aware of them through practice and feedback. Once you know what your nervous tics are, you can train yourself to replace them with calmer, more controlled gestures. Breathing is another subtle yet crucial element. Shallow, rapid breathing makes your body tense, and it often results in a shaky voice. Deep, controlled breathing helps you stay calm, steady your voice, and project confidence. Breathing properly also influences posture and reduces fidgeting. Before speaking, take a few slow, deep breaths to center yourself. During pauses in your talk, use those moments to reset your breathing. Not only does this help you physically, but it also creates a more deliberate, composed presence. What's particularly powerful about body language is that it works both ways. Not only does confident body language make your audience perceive you as more assured, but it also influences how you feel inside. When you stand tall, smile, and use open gestures, your brain receives feedback that you are in control, which reduces anxiety. This creates a positive cycle. Your body projects confidence, which boosts your internal confidence, which then makes your body language even more natural and convincing. Controlling your body language does not mean acting like someone you're not. Authenticity is vital. If you try to mimic gestures that don't feel natural, audiences will sense the disconnect. The goal is not to put on a performance, but to align your physical presence with the confidence you want to convey. With practice, you can refine your gestures, posture, and expressions until they feel authentic and supportive of your message. Ultimately, words are only part of communication. Studies have shown that nonverbal cues often carry more weight in how people interpret messages. A confident stance, steady eye contact, purposeful gestures, and genuine expressions can make the difference between an audience that tunes out and one that is fully engaged. By mastering your body language, you're not just learning how to appear confident, you're creating an environment where your audience can trust you, connect with you, and be persuaded by you. When your body speaks the same language as your words, confidence becomes undeniable. If body language is the silent partner of confident speaking, then voice is the audible backbone. The way you use your voice, its clarity, tone, pacing, and rhythm, determines whether your audience feels engaged or disconnected. Even the most carefully prepared speech can fall flat if delivered in a monotone, rushed, or mumbled voice. On the other hand, a speaker with average content but strong vocal delivery can still inspire, motivate, and leave a lasting impression. Adjusting your voice and pace is about more than just mechanics. It's about using your most natural instrument to convey both authority and warmth. The first principle is clarity. Speaking clearly ensures that every listener, no matter where they are seated, can understand you. Clarity is not about speaking loudly or exaggerating words, but about articulating each word with precision. Imagine a teacher explaining a complex topic. If their words blur together or they swallow syllables, the students quickly lose interest. But when each word is pronounced with care, the meaning becomes accessible, and the message lands more effectively. Practicing tongue twisters, reading aloud, or slowing down deliberately during rehearsal are ways to sharpen clarity. Alongside clarity is the importance of tone. Tone carries the emotional weight of your message. A confident tone is firm yet approachable, strong yet not aggressive. For example, when sharing a story of overcoming difficulty, your tone might lower slightly, reflecting seriousness. When introducing a breakthrough idea, your tone might rise with enthusiasm, showing excitement. Audiences unconsciously mirror the emotions they hear. If you sound hesitant, they may feel uneasy. If you sound confident, they will feel reassured. Pace is another crucial element. Many speakers speed up when they're nervous, trying to get through the material as quickly as possible. While this may feel like a way to escape anxiety, it often leaves the audience struggling to keep up, which diminishes comprehension and connection. On the other hand, speaking too slowly can bore listeners and make the message drag. A balanced pace, steady, deliberate, and varied, holds attention and communicates control. Think of pace as a rhythm. Just as music alternates between faster and slower beats, your speech should adjust to maintain interest. Pausing strategically is one of the most powerful yet underused tools of confident speaking. Silence can feel intimidating for speakers, but for audiences, it creates space to process information. A well-timed pause before a key statement builds anticipation. A pause afterward allows the message to sink in. For example, if you say, "This single decision changed the course of my life," and then pause, your audience leans in, waiting for the revelation. Pauses also give you a chance to breathe, reset your pace, and maintain composure. Volume is also worth considering. While clarity depends on articulation, volume ensures that everyone hears you. Speaking too softly can make you seem unsure, while shouting can feel overwhelming. The goal is to project your voice so it carries without strain. Imagine that you're speaking to the person at the farthest end of the room, not the one right in front of you. Practicing projection helps your voice sound strong and confident, even if you naturally have a softer tone. Another vocal technique is emphasis. Not every word in a sentence holds equal weight, so highlighting key words brings energy and meaning to your delivery. Compare saying, "We must change how we think," in a flat tone versus emphasizing "must" and "change." The latter feels urgent and impactful, while the former risks being forgettable. Emphasis can be achieved through volume, pitch, or slight elongation of the word. The art lies in choosing which words deserve the spotlight. Variety is the antidote to monotony. Listeners quickly tune out if your voice remains at the same pitch, pace, and tone throughout. By varying these elements, you maintain engagement. A rising pitch can signal excitement or curiosity. A slowing pace can underscore seriousness. Even subtle shifts prevent your delivery from sounding robotic. Think of your voice as a musical instrument. It has range, and using that range is what makes your message memorable. Breath control underpins vocal delivery. Nervousness often leads to shallow breathing, which results in a shaky or rushed voice. Deep diaphragmatic breathing gives you both steadiness and endurance. Professional singers and actors spend years mastering breath control for this very reason. For a speaker, it means being able to sustain a strong voice throughout a presentation without strain. Practicing breathing exercises before you speak can calm your nerves and strengthen your vocal presence. One often overlooked aspect of vocal confidence is authenticity. Your voice should reflect who you are, not an imitation of someone else. Trying to copy another speaker's style may feel unnatural and awkward. Instead, find the version of your voice that feels both comfortable and strong. This doesn't mean you can't learn from others. You absolutely can. But the goal is to enhance your natural style rather than replace it. Audiences resonate with authenticity. They want to hear you, not a performance. Recording your voice is a valuable exercise for improvement. Many people are surprised, even embarrassed, when they first hear a playback of themselves, but listening critically helps identify patterns. Speaking too quickly, dropping volume at the end of sentences, or overusing filler words. By noticing these habits, you can make targeted improvements. Over time, the gap between how you think you sound and how you actually sound narrows, leading to greater confidence. Lastly, vocal delivery is not just about mechanics, but about connection. The way you speak should reflect not only confidence in yourself, but also care for your audience. When your tone conveys warmth, your pace allows understanding, and your emphasis highlights value, listeners feel respected. They don't just hear your words, they feel your intention, and that connection is the ultimate mark of confident speaking. When voice and pace are mastered, your message carries weight. Listeners don't just remember what you said, they remember how you made them feel. Your words may be forgotten, but the impression of calm authority, energy, and authenticity will linger. Confidence is not in shouting louder or speaking perfectly. It's in adjusting your voice and pace so that your message lands with clarity, power, and humanity. Confidence, like any other skill, is not something you are simply born with. It is built through consistent, deliberate practice. Many people assume that some individuals are naturally confident speakers, while others are doomed to struggle. But the truth is far more encouraging. Confidence grows in direct proportion to the time and effort you invest in practicing real situations. By gradually challenging yourself, recording your progress, and seeking feedback, you build an inner assurance that no theory alone can give. Speaking with confidence is not a talent. It is a trainable ability that flourishes in the field of practice. The best way to begin is by starting small. If speaking in front of a large group terrifies you, then attempting it right away may only reinforce your fear. Instead, practice with an audience that feels safe and manageable. This could be a group of friends, family members, or a small team at work. By speaking in a low-pressure environment, you give yourself space to experiment and adjust without the overwhelming weight of expectation. Each small success adds a layer of confidence, proving to yourself that you can speak and be heard. Once you've gained comfort in smaller settings, the next step is to gradually expand your audience size and setting complexity. You might volunteer to present in a team meeting, join a study group, or lead a discussion in a community setting. Each of these experiences exposes you to slightly higher stakes, which strengthens your resilience. Think of it like lifting weights. You don't begin with the heaviest load. You start with what you can handle and build strength over time. Similarly, with every speaking opportunity you take, your capacity for confidence increases. Joining organizations designed to develop public speaking skills is another powerful way to practice. Groups like Toastmasters provide structured, supportive environments where members give speeches, receive constructive feedback, and watch themselves grow over time. These spaces are invaluable because they normalize mistakes as part of the learning process and give you the chance to witness your improvement alongside others who share the same goal. The sense of community also reduces the feeling of isolation that often comes with fear of public speaking. Feedback is an essential ingredient in building confidence through practice. Speaking in a vacuum makes it hard to know where you excel and where you need to improve. Asking for feedback from trusted listeners allows you to see yourself more clearly. They might point out that your voice trails off at the end of sentences or that your gestures feel stiff. While such observations may feel uncomfortable at first, they provide the roadmap for your growth. Over time, you begin to welcome feedback not as criticism, but as fuel for improvement. Recording your practice sessions is another method that accelerates confidence. With today's technology, simply using a smartphone to capture a rehearsal can reveal insights that you would never notice otherwise. You may discover that you speak too quickly when excited, that you avoid eye contact, or that your facial expressions don't match your words. These realizations are powerful because they allow you to adjust intentionally. With each recorded session, you can track progress, compare performances, and build confidence by seeing evidence of your improvement. A key part of practicing is learning to manage mistakes. Many speakers fear making errors so much that it paralyzes them, but practice teaches you that mistakes are not disasters. They are opportunities. Perhaps you forget a line or mispronounce a word. Instead of freezing, practice helps you recover smoothly by paraphrasing, pausing, or laughing it off. The more you experience small errors in safe practice environments, the less intimidating they become in real situations. You realize that mistakes do not define your talk. Your ability to continue with poise does. Practice also builds familiarity with timing. Every speech or presentation has a natural rhythm, and knowing how long it takes you to cover material is critical. By rehearsing with a timer, you avoid the twin pitfalls of rushing to finish or dragging on too long. Practicing within time limits develops a sense of pacing, which further strengthens your control and confidence. Audiences notice when a speaker respects their time, and this respect boosts their perception of your professionalism and assurance. In addition, practicing in different environments sharpens adaptability. Speaking in a quiet room is one thing. Speaking in a noisy setting, a large hall, or over a virtual call is another. Each environment presents unique challenges: acoustics, distractions, or technology issues. By practicing in varied contexts, you prepare yourself for real-life unpredictability. This adaptability is a hallmark of true confidence, as it demonstrates your ability to stay composed regardless of circumstances. Another overlooked but effective practice method is storytelling in everyday conversations. Share personal experiences with colleagues, explain ideas in meetings, or practice summarizing articles or books to friends. These informal opportunities develop your ability to structure thoughts clearly and engage listeners without pressure. Over time, speaking confidently becomes second nature, not just something reserved for formal presentations. The most significant benefit of practice is that it shifts your self-perception. Each successful attempt, no matter how small, creates a memory of competence. Over time, these memories build a mental library that you draw upon in moments of doubt. When you're about to speak and nervous thoughts arise, you can remind yourself, "I've done this before, and I can do it again." That reminder comes not from theory but from lived experience, which makes it far more convincing. Confidence built through practice also creates momentum. The more you speak, the more opportunities arise, and the more comfortable you become. What once felt terrifying becomes routine. What once made you anxious begins to energize you. Eventually, speaking confidently is no longer about forcing yourself to appear brave. It becomes a reflection of the competence you've earned through repeated action. In short, confidence cannot be wished into existence. It must be practiced into being. By starting small, seeking feedback, recording yourself, managing mistakes, and gradually embracing bigger challenges, you build a foundation of real experience. That foundation cannot be shaken easily because it is not based on theory or luck. It is built on proof that you have already succeeded. Every word you practice, every audience you face, and every lesson you learn contributes to a growing reservoir of confidence that carries you forward into every future speaking opportunity. The final step in speaking with confidence lies not in technique alone, but in mindset. Many people sabotage their ability to speak well because they focus too much on their own fear. Fear of judgment, fear of mistakes, fear of embarrassment. Yet the secret to genuine confidence is shifting attention away from yourself and toward the value you bring to others. When your mind is preoccupied with "how do I look?" or "what if I fail?", it becomes difficult to speak with clarity or conviction. But when you ask instead, "how can I help my audience?" or "what message will benefit them most?", your energy transforms. Confidence grows when your purpose is bigger than your fear. Consider for a moment why you are speaking in the first place. Perhaps you want to share an idea, teach a lesson, or inspire action. In every case, your role is to deliver something meaningful to the audience. When you recognize that your focus is outward, not inward, you stop obsessing over every flaw. The truth is, most audiences are not looking for perfection. They are looking for authenticity, clarity, and value. A small stumble or mispronunciation rarely matters to them. What matters is whether they walk away with something useful. One of the most liberating realizations for any speaker is that audiences want you to succeed. They are not sitting in their chairs hoping you will fail. They are hoping to gain insight, encouragement, or knowledge. They want to be inspired, informed, or entertained. By keeping this in mind, you can ease the burden of self-consciousness. Instead of fearing their judgment, see them as partners in your communication. They are rooting for you, even if silently. Another way to focus on value rather than fear is to frame your message as a gift. Imagine that every word you speak is a package of insight or encouragement that you're handing to your listeners. The act of giving shifts your perspective. You are not performing to earn approval. You are contributing to improve someone's life. This mindset makes your delivery more genuine and confident because it's no longer about you. It's about service. Of course, nervousness will still appear, especially in high-stakes situations. But instead of fighting it, reframe it. That racing heart, those sweaty palms, that surge of adrenaline, All of it is your body preparing you to rise to the occasion. Athletes feel the same sensations before a competition, yet they interpret them as readiness, not weakness. You can do the same before a speech. Rather than saying, "I'm nervous," say, "I'm energized and ready." That small shift in interpretation turns fear into fuel. Focusing on value also means giving yourself permission to be imperfect. No great speaker has ever been flawless. Even world leaders and professional communicators make mistakes on stage. What sets them apart is their ability to keep going, to laugh off a slip, or to move on without apology. Confidence is not about delivering a perfect performance. It's about delivering a meaningful message despite imperfections. When you accept this, you stop demanding the impossible from yourself, and your energy goes toward connecting with your audience instead. Another way to strengthen your focus on value is to know your audience's needs deeply. Before any talk, ask yourself, what are they struggling with? What do they want to learn? What perspective will help them most? By centering your preparation around their needs, you ensure that your words land where they are most needed. When you stand up to speak and you know that your content is tailored for your listeners, you feel naturally more confident. You are not just talking. You are solving a problem, answering a question, or offering hope. Even during your talk, pay attention to how the audience is responding. Are they leaning in, nodding, taking notes? These are signs that your message is resonating. Let that feedback build your confidence in real time. If you notice distracted faces or disengagement, don't panic. Use it as a cue to adjust your delivery. Ask a question, share a story, or inject energy. The ability to adapt comes from focusing outward, not inward. Instead of thinking, "I must be terrible," think, "What can I do right now to serve them better?" That simple shift keeps your confidence alive, even in challenging moments. It's also important to reflect on your purpose after speaking. Rather than obsessing over whether you made a mistake, ask yourself, did I deliver value? If the answer is yes, if your audience walked away with greater understanding, motivation, or clarity, then the talk was successful, regardless of small imperfections. This reflection reinforces the mindset that what truly matters is impact, not flawless performance. One of the most inspiring aspects of focusing on value over fear is that it builds a cycle of growth. The more you concentrate on helping others, the more positive feedback you receive. The more positive feedback you receive, the more confident you feel in your ability to make a difference. Over time, speaking becomes less about conquering nerves and more about fulfilling a mission. Your confidence becomes anchored not in self-image, but in the knowledge that you are capable of bringing value wherever you speak. Ultimately, fear and confidence are not opposites. They often coexist. The difference lies in which one you choose to give attention to. If you feed the fear by dwelling on mistakes or obsessing over appearances, it grows. If you feed the value by focusing on service, connection, and impact, your confidence grows. Every time you choose value over fear, you strengthen your ability to speak with authenticity and power. Confidence is not about silencing fear completely. It's about making fear irrelevant by focusing on something more important, the people you are speaking to, and the message you are delivering. When you shift your perspective in this way, confidence is no longer a fragile state that depends on everything going perfectly. It becomes a steady presence rooted in purpose. And that kind of confidence, born from service, not ego, is the kind that endures. You see, confidence isn't something distant. It's a skill anyone can practice every single day. Every small step you take brings you closer to the strongest version of yourself. If you want to keep growing on this journey of building confidence and mastering every conversation, hit subscribe right now, because the next videos will be the keys to turning fear into power and silence into a voice of true influence. Don't miss the chance to transform your life with just one click.